Hello, everyone out there. Welcome to an almost very special edition of Radio Free Decipher.
Actually, this one's special for me because this gets posted on the date of my 3-year anniversary with the company.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's almost special for all of us because this is yours and mine, Evan, our 99th episode of Radio Free Decipher. So the next episode that we have will be the big 100th episode spectacular. So everybody mark your calendars and look forward to that. But it's not going to happen next week.
So this is the not so spectacular episode.
This is the not quite so
Tim
spectacular.
Ellington.
That's right. And with us on this not so spectacular episode is Mr. Tim Ellington. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, but I want to wait until the 100th episode.
Well, maybe we can bring you back or something. We'll have
We'll have everybody in.
Well, no,
that
would be interesting.
We'll cram everyone in this little closet, and it'll be a lot of fun.
It's been about 2 years since you guys let me do this.
Is it really been that long?
I don't want to wait till
I see you brought your baby pictures. We were talking before the recording how that doesn't quite translate to RSD.
Yeah, come on, Tim. Show everyone the baby pictures.
All right, here's a picture of my son, John, while we're at the beach on vacation.
He's very cute.
See? Everybody see?
Yeah, very nice.
Anyway.
Just real quick before we get to your interview, Tim, programming note, there will be no Radio Free Decipher next week, so we're going to have to wait for that 100th episode.
Because we're all going to be off at Origins.
That's right. So look for us 2 weeks from now. Anyways.
So let's talk. If it really has been that long since you've been on RFD, maybe there are some people out there who don't know who you are. Maybe you should start with that.
Well, I'm the director of the trading card game studio.
Okay. So you're Evan's boss.
Evan and I work together.
That's nice.
Very politically correct.
It has been a while since I've been on here. I don't even remember what we talked about last time.
Probably something Trek.
Probably something Trek.
Now you've been around here for several years. I mean, you worked on many of the Star Trek sets in the kind of the middle years.
Indeed.
After Q Continuum, but before Voyager.
I was part of the group that changed everything with First Contact.
Very nice.
That's where I started, and I worked on every set up through Voyager.
Okay.
And then they took me away and put me behind the desk and let me push papers for a while. So I haven't done much.
And you've been doing a fantastic job at that, though. I must say, because things are really coming out on time, and there's a really good schedule going. And, even our Lord of the Rings products are kind of even early. When we originally announced that we were going to be doing Lord of the Rings, we posted a schedule of all the months that everything was going to be coming out. But, Realms of the Elf Lords, for instance, is supposed to be July, and the starters are already out. And the boosters come out the third day in July. So, I mean, you've been keeping it really on a great schedule, and, great job.
Well, that's certainly not just me. I mean, everybody's kind of pitched in, and we realized that in order for us to, work with our customer base and keep people happy, we need to be consistent. And so that's something we did put some focus on over the last 12 months was, being consistent with our schedule so people could depend on it. And I think that's helped us.
Great stuff. So we were saying earlier that you were probably on here for Star Trek stuff the last time you were on Radio Free Decipher. So what are you on here today for?
Star Trek stuff.
Excellent.
Ironically, yeah.
All right. What you got?
Well, I just wanted to, let everybody know that we're still working on the project, the new Trek project.
Project Trek, it's kind of started to be called.
Yeah, Project Trek. That's, for anybody who doesn't know, that's what you call something that you spend 2 months on and can't think of a name for.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Project Trek.
Believe me, there's been a fair amount of effort thrown at this name conundrum, and some good suggestions that all are not quite right for various reasons, but Project Trek.
Yeah, when you get to something like 409, you know why they called it 409.
Yes.
Because it wasn't just the 409th formula. It's just we can't figure out what to call it. But I just want to give people an update on what's going on with Trek in general.
Okay.
We're still, evaluating the feedback that we've gotten from the decks that we posted. Mm-hmm. We've started some play testing with some play test groups individually for the set as a whole, as opposed to just the PDF decks that we put up.
Actually, that is a place I should interject quickly because I have received a few emails of people asking me, about the applications. And if you have not heard by now, then unfortunately we passed on your application for whatever reason. We have already selected our playtesters.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. Continue.
That's quite all right. So we do have some groups working on that. However, We still are in an evaluation stage with that. There was a Scry article that came out this month.
Yes, there was a lot of speculation about that.
Yeah, that basically said, here's what they're doing, and that's it's just not accurate.
Okay.
I mean, realistically, we have made no decisions about any kind of schedule about when that might come out. If it does come out, in fact, one of the things I wanted to mention was the fact that we hope within the next week or two we're going to be able to release some information about what we have planned for the current game over the next probably 12 to 18 months, and what the product schedule will look like for that. So despite rumors and premonitions, the current game is not dead, not at all.
Okay.
We're still working on it. We still have plans for releasing cards for it for quite a while still. We are working on some changes to the game that we hope will help with some of the issues about growing player base and getting players in. And it's a little too early to talk about what some of those manifestations might be yet, but just so people know that it's still very much alive and kicking. It's still on our schedule, and once we have a chance to nail down some product configurations that we want to try to work on, then I hope we'll be able to give some news to people about what will be coming for the current game, and put to rest those concerns that it's dead, because it's not.
Excellent. So it's not, and news is coming, but we got to get to at least the other side of Origins before we really kind of...
Yeah, in all likelihood, it'll be after Origins before we can say anything for sure.
Well, sounds like good news across the board then for Star Trek people.
Excellent.
Okay. So what have been sort of the different methods that you've been accumulating the feedback on Project Trek and all that's been going on with it? Obviously, you've got playtesters, but there's also like message boards and what other various methods?
Well, playtesters, message boards, some playtest feedback where we work directly with playtesters as opposed to the PDF decks that we're just getting information on the discussion boards. Some direct email to myself and Mr. Holland has been some feedback.
Interesting.
Yeah, some of it has been kind of interesting, but I think it's just a testimony to the fact that even though Star Trek may not be the biggest game out there, it's an old game. It's got 8 years behind it. There are a lot of dedicated players who've been in it for a long time, and when people get emotional, about something like that, it makes sense because they have invested heavily both in time and money and energy. So you can't really blame someone for wanting to make sure that their voice is heard or their opinion gets expressed. So it just kind of comes with the territory. You expect people who are loyal to something to defend it, and hopefully going forward we'll be able to answer those concerns that the long-time players have, as well as some concerns that we have about new player entry and strength of the community. So.
Okay, great. Good. Well, good stuff. Also of interesting note, I think that people should know is that Tim was once a professional putt-putt golfer. I think that is the most fantastic thing I've ever heard. Before meeting you, Tim, I didn't know there was such a thing. What does it take to be a professional putt-putt golfer?
Being hard-headed more than anything.
Is it all about angles and knowing, like, okay, this is a bank thing, and it's a bank at this angle, and I know I need to hit it this hard and off this rock and through the giraffe's legs? I mean...
Well, playing miniature golf or putt-putt at a higher level is a lot more like playing pool than playing golf.
Interesting.
It really is. You have to, learn where the shots are, learn the angles for the banks, speed. And just like different pool tables have different speeds depending on how worn the felt is, the carpet on a putt-putt course can change that too. So,
were you ever foiled by like a leaf or a rock that may have been on the green and it ruined your shot?
Not by a leaf or a rock, but I did have a little clump of mud on my putter once that caused me a little bit of problem.
Oh man!
Yeah, unbeknownst to me, I hit a putt that went off at like a 45-degree angle, and I didn't know why. And I looked, and I had been leaning on my putter, and it was kind of buried in the mud beside a hole, and it kind of picked up a little hitchhiker.
Wow. Well, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I do too, but I hate to be the wet blanket. I can hear computers clicking off all over Decipher land.
All right, well, we'll move on with the rest of the broadcast, but
Tim,
thank you so much for joining us today on Radio Free Decipher. So.
Right.
Okay, a couple more bits of Trek CCG news here before we advance. Some of you may have seen that the prize support has been increased for Star Trek tournaments. I believe it is now. Don't quote me on this because I sit upstairs and write cards.
Right, and obviously you can go to Decipher.com and see what the exact story is.
Yes, but I believe that the number of foils that are going out for sanctioned tournaments has doubled. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah, and people have speculated. What is this going to do for values of say people who are trying to sell singles? And yeah, it is probably going to take the single sales down, but it is important to note that we haven't printed any new foils. These are all just kind of coming out of the stash that exists. So, it would be like if you found a black bordered Premier booster somewhere and opened it. You haven't suddenly put a Jean-Luc Picard into circulation that wasn't there before. It just, this really is an opportunity for the players who are dedicated and still coming out to tournaments to pick up some foils that they missed the first time around.
That's right.
So, good.
Yes.
And the other bit of news
is that there's a territorial.
Yeah.
The last territorial for Star Trek.
Okay. That last this season.
Sure, this season.
I always have to watch what I say now because people just, they're really looking for a message that says that Star Trek is ending. And as Tim just said, it's not. But this is the last territorial of this qualifying season. Tell us about it.
It's going to be a virtual territorial. In other words, though it's going to be hosted by Decipher and the Star Trek Online CCG, which is hosted by Digital Deck, and you can go online and get your deck ready and play for people all over the place. You don't have to fly anywhere to play this in this territorial. Okay. You just have to build your deck online for the Star Trek Online TCG.
And like all the other territorials, this will qualify you for the World Championship Day 2.
That's right. So this is the perfect opportunity for those of you that have not yet qualified for the World Championships to get another spot.
This is quite a large territory, the whole world.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is a big territory. So
very nice.
Should be a lot of fun. And of course you can go on to Decipher.com and look for the link to the online game and find out all the information there.
Cool.
Sounds good.
It's been a good week for fans of the movies that our games are based on.
Yes, it has.
There have been trailers this week new that have gone online for both the Two Towers. This is new footage besides what is at the end of Fellowship of the Ring.
That's correct.
And then also the trailer for Star Trek Nemesis.
Both, like in the last week.
Yeah, I believe they don't actually start showing in theaters until the July 4th holiday weekend.
Everybody wants to be attached to Men in Black too.
Pretty much. But you could go online to various websites and see
StarTrek.com and LordOfTheRings.com.
I think so, yeah. I know that the OneRing.net was also running links to where you could see the Two Towers trailer.
Okay.
But both very, very cool trailers.
Yes. I know a little bit about the Star Trek plot, which made that trailer even cooler for me, but I'm not giving it away.
Well,
not talking about it.
Because you can't.
Sure. But, for those of you that want to check that out, please do. They're very good stuff, so should be good.
We got a couple more notes here before we close down.
Origins. Next week.
Yes, as we said, it will keep us from doing RFP next week, but, we will be busy.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be lots of stuff going on, and for those of you that saw it, there is and those of you that maybe haven't, yesterday, on Decipher.com, there went up a story about the Premier Series event again and what all people will be getting for participating.
Now, this was Bojo on about 2 weeks ago telling us about all the goodies.
And he hinted to what they were. Well, this story gives you what they are, and you get that really cool shirt just for playing, and you get one of the 2 DGMA pins just for playing. Now, if you make it into the final 16, day 2, you get a different pin, which even gives your status a little bit more of a boost, which is really cool. So that's awesome. That tournament is going to be so cool and so exciting, and it's going to be such high competition.
I was going to say, and so large. I don't envy the folks who have to run that. So be kind to them if you're going.
Yes, Dan will be there all the days, and it's going to be a long weekend for him, but he's really looking forward to it, and he's really excited about it. And so is Scott Gata, who's also helping out with the TGMA. Both those guys are going to be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and so
I am psyched for
I look forward to it. Yeah, I get to take pictures of that. So I'm going to be doing some daily content for Origins. So, Friday will be the reports on day one, and then on Thursdays of content. So